Hey everyone, today is the last day of week 2. We'll have 2 steps for today. First one, it'll be sketchbook entry number 5. For today, it's going to be a free choice entry. So to give you enough work time, I'm not going to draw that out today, but take 10 minutes, draw out something of your choice, and then we're going to continue working on the abstract color wheel. So you should have that outlined down on that final paper. Once you have that down, something that I want you to start to think about is color scheme. For color scheme choices, I would really highly recommend not using monochromatic, but if you want to use complementary or if you wanted to use analogous, those would be a good option for this, especially if you do have limited materials. Once you have your color scheme picked out, and with that you can either do a color scheme or you could do the entire color wheel itself, totally up to you. But this is a nice project where, because you can go on with a variation of pressure and overlapping different materials, that you can get quite a bit of a range even with just a more limited color palette as well. You'll notice that I'm going to kind of start just drawing out with this color wheel, and I set about a 20-minute timer for myself, so by the end of this video you can kind of see the progress that I made during that time. And for your work time today, the goal isn't that you are getting this all finished. It's just that you are spending about 15 to 20 minutes actively working on this piece and going in with a variety of colors. Something to keep in mind as you go through with this is not something where you have to use all the same material, and there's quite a few different material options open to you. So if you'd want to use paint, you can go ahead and use paint, and I would actually really recommend that if you do have paint available to you at home. Otherwise, as far as different materials, you could do colored pencils, crayons, markers, or even a variety or an assortment of different materials as well work out just fine. And what you're looking for is each kind of segment or piece is going to end up being a different color or shade of a certain color. So you'll notice that I have what ends up being about 4 different shades of red by either using pressure or using a combination of pressure and then overlapping with black. So really play around with the materials. You can kind of stretch out one color to get a variety of different shades and hues. So really extend those materials, especially if you are working with more limited materials, and you can usually make it work out just fine. One thing that we'll touch on next week is, you'll notice with the colored pencils, and if you're using crayons, it'll be kind of grainy. So I'm going to touch next week a little bit on how to get some of that graininess smoothed out, and then I will also go over a few blending methods you can do at home with things that you can find around the house. So stay tuned for next week. I am so proud of you all for getting to the end of week 2. Check out the announcements for Schoology. I gave some new information on office hours, and I just want you to check in on that. I think next week we are going to start doing more required check-ins, so do check in on that. Make sure that you can get that done. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I will see you all next week. So proud of you all. Miss seeing you all in class. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.